another episode of Giving Me Very Much a Cast.
Yes, ma'am. We're back again. Better than ever. Stronger than ever. Check a bitch out.
You all up in their ear. What is up with you and being people ear?
I don't.
Better than ever.
I just like to be heard.
I'm JT.
And I'm Saint Mora.
Make sure you what do we do? Like and comment, subscribe. And the notification bell.
Ding,
so you know when we upload.
Get with the program.
Yeah.
Schedule.
Yeah. The noti bill.
So,
yeah, do all that. Follow us on social media
and Twitter, and we're making a TikTok soon, y'all. So, yeah, but Instagram and Twitter at GMVMAP. Okay, no spaces, no dashes, no periods.
I don't even think they
on
allow
period.
all that. To be honest. But yeah, we can give them a second one more time. We'll just like maybe 5 seconds. Y'all can pause. So pause now and go follow on Spotify or subscribe on. We're not on all that.
We'll be there.
Don't mislead the people.
Okay. SoundCloud.
Follow on SoundCloud, Spotify, and subscribe on YouTube.
Yeah.
So we'll wait.
Yeah. And the YouTube one should be quick. You already here.
That part. Okay, great. Back to the regularly scheduled program.
So, sounds really, really good.
This episode is about, before we get into the segment, this episode is about how we're college dropouts and education, reaching higher education, and like transitioning. Yeah, basically just about college.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, we have a question.
So, our question is, so backstory. There have been 24 super habitable planets that have been found. I believe the majority of them, NASA reported, were within 100 light years of us.
Yeah, which is really, really far away.
It's really, really far, but like closer than a lot of other space shit. So like it's possible, but like not yet.
I can't. To put it in perspective, it would take 100 million years for us to get to the next super inhabitable planet.
Or 100 years if you're traveling at the speed of light.
Exactly. Even at the speed of light, it would take 100 years.
We wouldn't know that if the sun stopped burning for 8 minutes.
That's true.
Yeah. So
I thought once we got to the speed of light, Star Wars, and then we're there. But that would mean they would have to create like a portal or some shit.
They would, yeah. We'd have to like teleport or something, or find a way to like I don't know do something.
They're kind of jumping the gun. Then like you can't teleport on Earth. What makes you think you'll go in space and do that?
That part.
I'm gonna need y'all to slow it down.
Not to mention you're gonna have to get there. To put the other teleportation device, assuming that it's like a portal, an actual portal, you're probably going to need to put that second portal in the spot because we're still in physics, not, a cartoon.
Oh, shit.
Unless they ripped a hole in like the middle of space.
That's what I'm saying. It would have to be like a black hole.
And we would all die.
Like Bermuda Triangle type shit.
Yeah.
Like there was a guy who flew through he accidentally flew through the Bermuda Triangle. And he basically like time traveled.
Damn.
So we would have to figure out what happened there. Like they're jumping the gun unless they're not telling us things that we don't know. They might have already done the time travel thing.
Allegedly.
Because how do you skip all that to being like, oh yeah, now we'll be able to travel light years?
Exactly.
That doesn't make sense. But I was watching the question is, would you move to one of these 24 super habitable planets if we were able to, if all the kinks were worked out and we were able to get there? Would you live there?
They're doing like space tourism and stuff. So, I mean,
would you go though?
Personally, I gotta see the pictures first. I'm not even gonna sit here and cap. I gotta know what the people are like. I gotta know what they're doing. And like, no, cause like I don't want to get there and then it's like
I think they hyped us up about space though, because like a lot of us think that like the aliens are like, you know, you've seen Star Wars, like Jabba the Hutt and how he looks all weird and deformed, or Guardians of the Galaxy. Like a lot of people think like it's like I don't know, not bacteria. Like when people sometimes when they be talking about UFO, like or life on other planets, it's literally little bacteria.
They're not complex life. It's just life. Yeah. So that's one of the very interesting things to take into account too. Like, when they say like they found life on other planets, is it complex life? Are they able to communicate with us besides wiggling around together like pigs in a pen?
Yeah.
No shade to bacteriums, you know, like if I'm
not
mistaken, we were, that's what I'm saying, you know, we came from that. But like, you know, no disrespect to the bacteriums community, but I mean, it's not complex enough for me.
Yeah.
There's nothing you could do with it. And they're too tiny. Microscopic. You know, it's not like moving around with a giant worm or something.
I personally wouldn't go. My thing is fix what's going on here. Everyone is so focused on like, I'm just gonna go to Mars. Like, bitch, it's not happening. And like, all the rich guys are trying to fix problems that aren't even created yet. Why don't you just fix what you fucked up in the first place?
Yeah.
Fucking Bill Gates making fucking toilets. You got little African children mining your shit. Let's start there. Mind you, he's building the toilets for African communities. You know?
This is our billionaires though.
Yeah.
Harvard University.
Absolutely stupid. But I wouldn't go.
No.
Like, fix what's going on here.
Make Earth habitable.
Exactly. So they leave, and what does that mean for the rest of us?
Make Earth great again.
Do not let Trump hear that shit, because we're gonna be in a Hitler kind of moment. Yeah.
Oh my God, y'all gotta be careful with that stuff, girl. These world leaders be doing some crazy shit.
That's all cries.
It's
all cries.
Okay, so I get so like excited about these kinds of topics though, because like, so I don't know if you saw how they were theorizing on like colonizing our solar system, but
they're doing it now.
Right, they're trying to research ways to cool down Venus and make it habitable, and they're trying to find a way to somehow make Mars habitable, because if I'm not mistaken, I think there's been ice discovered under the crust or something like that. So I don't know, it's just really, really interesting. But the thing that I kind of...
She is going off, honey.
I thought it was very interesting how like we're having all of these ambitious, you know, ideals and stuff. Because even like colonizing another planet, you do realize like you're going to have to terraform that place too. You know, it's not like you're just going to get there and it's going to look like Earth. That's not how, like...
Yeah, and then when you add your own... Because we all have our own microbiome.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to disrupt
there.
You don't know what that's going to disrupt.
Look at how bad it was just traveling across continents between people.
Thank you.
Yeah.
A whole population of people were wiped out from smallpox. And you want to go to a whole different planet with different microbionisms. Is that the right? Sounds right. Thank you. Microorganisms. And it reintroduce, like, you don't know. And how sustainable is it to be in a spacesuit all the fucking time?
Well, it's not. And it's actually very detrimental to your physical body.
That's what I'm saying. This shit doesn't make sense.
You're going to have to figure out, like, I mean, yeah, they're habitable, but I want to know how habitable they are, like, on every aspect. Is it habitable? Not saying it's 1-to-1 copy of like how Pangea broke away or whatever, but no, I mean, are there oceans? Are there like mountains and valleys? You know, like, does it look anything like what we would be used to? I mean, is it just a dirt planet like Mars, or is there like grass and stuff? You know, like these are. That's
I just
why I was
feel like
I
they're
would
really.
want to see the pictures.
I feel like they're really jumping the gun and trying to, like, you're not being revolutionary right now.
Not
what would be revolutionary is making life here way easier. Because I feel like if you understand what's going on here, it would give you the key to the rest of the universe. Mm-hmm. The whole universe would make a lot more sense if you understood the environment you already live in, because we came from the universe.
Exactly.
That's how that works.
Yeah. I don't know what they're gonna do, man. I honestly have no idea. I'm just thinking about all of the like actual limitations that's stopping us from going to these places. I'm like, literally, I think dying is the only thing holding people back from going, low-key. Like, if I'm being, because, like, if you weren't gonna just age out of life before
people would take that risk and be like,
all right,
let's go. I've been here a long fucking time.
Go on.
I mean, okay, so if everything checked out, we were able to get there, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know how that would play out, because white people.
Yes.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
When do we discover these complex these complex other forms of life and stuff? Does racism apply to them? Are we going to be like, oh, we're humans, so we're better than all y'all?
I don't think the aliens are having that. Plus, they said that they think that we've been, visited already.
Oh, duh.
Because the idea of the universe, they have this idea, I forgot what it's called, but basically how the universe was made was antimatter and regular matter
combining,
literally like going on as like opposite forces and creating an explosion.
Yeah.
And so when that explosion created, they think like it had like a butterfly effect, like a symmetry effect. So basically there's like a parallel universe of all of this. So like, this is our universe, but there also could be another universe where they're like, flies are the like the complex being, and they're all just complex, and they think like we do. So it can they think that there's different timelines of what we could have been, the Earth could have been, the universe could have been.
I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah, I believe that can happen, but then I also believe in God.
Yeah.
And so that's where it leaves me confused, and I feel like I'm always questioning everything because the science makes sense, but like I was watching Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's a scientist, and he was saying like, don't question it, like it is what it is because it is. And I'm like, that's cute to say, but y'all be getting on people about believing in God, and we're saying it is what it is because of what it is.
Right.
But then you're like, no, but science. And I'm like,
yeah.
But that's only what you know.
Quite literally.
That's only what we know from here.
From this perspective.
From here.
Yeah.
Not from there. So that's what leaves me questioning so freaking much.
Yeah. I definitely feel that. I don't know what they're going to do about any of these issues, let alone the stuff we're dealing with on this planet. I mean, okay, so one of the questions says, what does this mean for humans? And I think it's a very interesting question, because it's like, on one hand, it can inspire a lot of innovation, but on the other hand, it can be completely wasted if we don't care enough to put the effort towards that innovation. Yeah. So I mean, it's up to what humans make out of it, out of the circumstances they're given.
Yeah. I mean, Elon Musk with SpaceX, he sent for the first time 4 civilians. Well, it wasn't going to be the first time. I think the Challenger is the one that exploded. And there was 1 civilian on that one, but it exploded and they all rest in peace. So that was the first time of civilian, but he put 4 civilians into space, into orbit of the Earth. That was the inspirational 4. If you want to watch that, I think it's on Netflix. It's called Countdown.
Wow. At least we can finally prove that the Earth isn't flat. We can go up there and see it now.
Do you know people are still saying that shit?
We can go up there and see it now.
People are literally still saying that shit, though.
Crazy. I don't understand. I mean, even when you're standing on a mountaintop, you can see the Earth curve.
If you look at the ocean, you can see it.
Yeah. Like, at the beach.
Fall off.
Literally. That's why they thought they were going to fall off.
I mean, humans are so simple.
Ugh.
Humans are literally
the most complex, simple beings ever. The most simple-minded, complex human beings.
But are we even that complex? I don't believe we're that complex.
We're complex in the way that we were created in our existence.
Okay, so how we came to be is kind of interesting. I mean, it's interesting, but it's not complex.
You know, are very like autonomous. We don't have to even think about breathing 90% of the time. You know,
I mean, other animals do that,
right? But I mean, to even have that ability, you know, to not be like, oh, I have to like you have to get up and you're walking somewhere. It's not like, oh, I have to breathe today.
So it's the conscious and unconscious mind that's complex.
Mind that go hand in hand.
That make it complex.
Exactly. It's all of the intricate pieces that fit together that makes it complex. But human beings as a whole are very simple-minded.
Yeah. I think our life is simple too. Mm-hmm. I think people overcomplicate our life. Yeah. Which is why I think being overly ambitious about reaching space when you can't even handle what the fuck is going on right here. We're literally in code red. Yeah. And you're talking about going into space and you have no way of traveling at the speed of light. What are we doing? What are we doing? That's white people though. Let me fuck some shit up and then leave. Yeah. So basically they're white flighting the earth. And
quite literally.
I'm uncomfortable with that.
I don't know where they're gonna
honestly, if they leave, I'm good. Because I feel like we would figure it out. We'd be like, oh wow. Like, oh, okay. Wait off the shoulder.
Well, I mean, I can breathe now.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about dying all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No, because I posted on my story, not to go off topic. I posted on my story. I was like, y'all, if y'all know me and y'all follow my spam, y'all know I am not racist. Like, I talk a lot of shit up here. I get on my soapbox and I spread all the shit I want to, but I am not a racist. And you cannot tell me any different.
Yeah.
My man's is white. Like,
my man's is white. I like how you kind of whispered that, though.
I was like, yo, put this in up here. I'll put a cup for y'all bitches. Like, what? This is crazy.
No, like, I don't know. I just...
Where they're going to go? What are they going to do? How long will it take to develop? Girl? How long will it take to develop?
Well, there's Area 51 that no one has ever been in or seen.
Right.
So there's a whole lot of shit we don't fucking know about.
Military base, which is why we can't go. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be declassified for people to just understand.
I think it's so crazy the way we live. Like, we could literally all be living in harmony, trying to figure out how we're living in this world. Instead, we work ourselves to death like a fucking slave. So, like, 5 white guys can be rich. And I'm, like, really irritated by that. Yeah. And, like, even if you're not of color, you should be irritated by that. There's 5 people running your entire life. Yeah. That doesn't bother you.
I just talked to my mom about it because I was like, you know, I'm not knocking my mom or anything. I'm actually quite grateful that I grew up with, like, this white picket fence mentality. You know, I had besides all of the other stuff that went on in my childhood, I had overall a great childhood. Like,
same.
I grew up a normal kid for the most part. So, you know, to like
even with some privilege, right, to be honest, kind of grew up with a little bit of privilege as well. I've noticed that as I've grown up.
I mean, even living in the state of California,
it's a bit of a privilege. Yeah, living in Los Angeles,
literally. But, you know, I told her because I was like, it's a lot of stuff out there that I didn't realize even like I existed, you know. And so like when I started seeing these things, it's like I couldn't even fathom it a lot of times because it was just like, why what is all of this madness going on? I was telling her, I was like, you know, you think that you're gonna go to college and you're gonna wake up and like you're gonna have this perfect life, you're gonna get a job, then retire and do your whole thing, but then you grow up and you realize not even white people have white picket fences.
Yeah.
Not even the promised people,
that's what I'm like,
have these white picket fences.
That's what I'm like, you know, like they're pinning everyone against each other. And everyone is trying to make it about race. And then they say black people make everything about race. No, you're making it about race. And what we're trying to tell you, it is not you. It's the system. And you keep thinking it's about you. And you feel attacked because you're so ingrained into the system. Yeah. That you think we're attacking you personally.
And that also comes with being coddled by the system.
Exactly.
There's a sense of comfortability there too.
That's what I was telling my mom. I was like, they're not going to do that because it works for them.
You're comfortable with just living your regular life, and you don't have to really adhere to anybody. Police brutality isn't something that you're worried about every time you step foot outside of your home. You know, I mean, a lot of people do, granted, but a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
That's something they don't worry about. So, I mean, there's just, I don't know, man. Like you said, fix the shit down here. Stop trying to go everywhere else. You trying to fix shit down here. Because this shit is ghetto. Earth shouldn't be the ghetto. Earth is the homeland, bitch. Africa shouldn't be the ghetto. Africa's the homeland, bitch.
Africa is not ghetto. They just stripped Africa like,
well, they treat it like
naked.
It's the ghetto. That's Europeans. They do that to everything and everybody that they touch and that they come in contact with.
Oh, child.
Ugh. I'm disgusted. Anyway. Moving on. So,
main
topic. So we're gonna get into it. We decided to, like Jay said earlier, talk about no spoilers. We're college dropouts. Which is, I mean, hey, it's a thing. It's life. So
do you feel some type of way about being a college dropout?
I don't. I mean, I feel like I can't actually go on record and say this without being some type of like way to the public without having a degree, but I kind of feel like the 4-year thing is a scam. I'm gonna get my associates when I get it, but like I'm not gonna go like tens of thousands of dollars in debt for 4 years of stress that I don't need just to have a piece of paper that says I know what the fuck I'm talking about, even though you can buy your way through it.
I feel the same
way.
I don't feel bad about it anymore. At first I did.
Yeah, at first I did too.
I was like, you know what? Like, especially the way we grew up.
Yeah.
Like,
white picket fence.
Yeah. Almost like part of my childhood was middle class before we ended up like in poverty and homelessness. Yeah. So I'm used to education is important.
Yeah.
You know, being involved in your community.
Exactly.
Set up academics is important.
Yeah.
When you graduate, you go to good college.
Right.
And you get a good job, and you. And the world is ever changing, and I'm very much questioning that more and more. And I feel like looking back, the whole school thing was just to prepare me to be somebody, like you said, paid slave.
Yeah. They're renting us for $20,000 a year. hey, ... For just $30,000 a year, you can get you a personal employee to do anything that you would ever need them to do. And for no compensation of any extra liability at all. Not to mention you can fire them whenever you want to. So that $20,000 isn't even.
Yeah, you can overwork them without.
And
like in the United States, you can be overworked on a paid salary and not get compensated for it.
Exactly.
So even though you're getting paid like $50,000 a year, that doesn't even account for all the overtime that you put in for that company. And you're not even getting paid for that.
You're still at will. You could be there for years and years and years. You're still employed at will. They can like literally, none of this matters. None of this matters.
Like, that's a whole different topic, though.
That's a whole different topic. But they will.
That's a whole different topic. Like, none of the shit we do in life matters. But that's a whole different topic. Okay, so why did you? Let's take it back. Why did you go to college?
Let's do it. I went to college because, once again, like you said, I grew up in this sort of white picket. You know, like, not toot my horn and shit. I've been to private school, you know, like I was part of the GATE program. I've done all of these academic things. Shit, I was in robotics in 6th grade. Like, these are the types of things we took fucking, you know, I grew up in Pasadena. We took field trips to JPL every other weekend type shit.
What is JPL?
Jet Propulsion Laboratory.
These niggas are going to field trips to a laboratory.
No! Oh my God. But this is the stuff I'm talking about, though. Do you see what I'm like?
Yes.
I have an educational background.
Yeah.
You know, my grandma was the well, I don't know what she did, but she worked for the district in Culver City. That's why I was never kicked out of high school from any of the drama that happened. You almost went to jail over after she almost overdosed and stuff. I could have been sent right to Culver Park because I still lived in the city, so they couldn't kick me out, you know? No, ma'am. I had nothing to do with that. I don't know. It's just, but I went to college because I grew up with this whole educational background, and my mom, you know, her being a nurse and everything, she's like, you need to go to school, you need to do this with your life and everything, you know, like you said, get a good job and XYZ, the whole 9 yards. Mm-hmm. And I got to school.
Then I showed up on campus.
That's an entirely different start. No, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, like I went to college and stuff just because, I mean, I guess I also, you know, felt like, oh, this is cool. Like, I'm a college kid. You know, it's fun in the first couple months. But, like, once you actually have stress and stuff, it's a lot.
Yeah, but on top of that, school and now going into adulthood.
Yeah, that too. What? Bring it back. Why did you?
We're getting better at that. Hold on.
Bring it back. Why did you decide to join the college?
Because my mom wanted me to. All right, next question. No, honestly, no, I understood growing up with a single mother, watching her go to school with 3 kids and practically 2 jobs, and her not being able to move up, even with all, my mom has had jobs in so many freaking fields. Like, she worked in a cupcake shop. Like, she was a baker at one point. Like, what the fuck? My mom has been a janitor to a manager to a baker to a fucking, she's done a preschool fucking teacher. Like, she's literally done, she has so many skills. But the only thing that was holding her back from moving into those positions that she deserved was a degree. Was her level of education. My mom is super intelligent, super skilled. Yeah. It was just a piece of freaking paper. Yeah. Well, I think wild. Coco's having a nightmare. Oh.
But yeah, that will definitely traumatize someone.
Yeah.
Just constantly going through that too, because I mean, like, even in my own like job experiences and stuff, I know that I'm not gonna say no names, y'all ain't get no promo off me, bitches. But I used to work for this company, a bank, and they overworked me and underpaid me for everything that I did through a pandemic. I did so much for that company.
Didn't move you up.
They didn't care.
But they did that to a lot of people, though. And then would go out and promote diversity and inclusion and upward promotion.
I've been here since 1954. I started as the janitor, or I started here as the security guard or the doorman. Now I'm the head manager, and you know, but that's a common theme I've been just seeing, like, you know, on the job companies. Search. Yeah, they try to get you with that. You can move up. You know, we're all about like.
Oh my God! I just got a call from Domino's, and he was like, "Yeah, you'll be at the cashier, but you know, once you get good with the customers, we'll have you on the pizza." I was like, okay. I'm most likely gonna cancel that interview because my moment. He did not. I told him I was coming, but I'm definitely canceled.
I kid you not, that was literally me talking. Like, I had an interview set up with this like automotive place over by the airport, and I was thinking, I'm like, bitch, I don't even have a license, let alone a car. Like, I'm not going to this. What? Like, no. What? Yeah. Anyways,
but yeah, that's why I wanted to go to college, because I seen my mom struggle. And I just didn't want to, you know, breaking generational curses and cycles, you know. So, but I have an older brother, so he also didn't finish college. So it kind of gave me like a little bit less pressure to like
do it.
I literally like eased my way out of college without even saying anything. I was just like, this is what I'm doing now, and it doesn't involve schooling. But yeah, the initial reason I was because I seen my mom struggle, and that was the only thing holding her back was a higher education. And I've seen her get a higher education with all these adversities, and she was able to do it. So I was like, I can definitely do it. And I was just gonna take that torch for her and be that, you know, and be that middle child who is the only sane one. Be the you know, if you're a middle child, then you know what I'm talking about. You know the pressures of being a middle child. So I was just gonna take that torch and you know, basically live out her dreams, kind of, and just be like, see, like, I can take our family places. Yeah. And I still feel that way, even though I'm not in college, but that's why I was like, higher education is important. Yeah. And I mean, I did it. I got into some really good schools. I've gotten into really some good HBCUs, really good PWIs. So,
I mean, hey.
I mean, I was there, but I couldn't fucking afford it.
Yeah, that too. That's the reason I didn't go to school in Europe. I was supposed to go to Europe. I'm glad I didn't go because of the COVID stuff and everything. I had no idea this was going to happen.
Honestly, I would rather be in Europe than America during this pandemic. And I just realized, I was like, damn, I wish I really left. I wish I left when I wanted to leave. I'd much rather be there than be here, bro. I mean, good thing I'm in Los Angeles and it's not that bad, but just America in general is just like
gross. I mean, America's always been kind of gross, but no, I mean, as far as the COVID situation, I get that aspect and everything, but I don't think it's as fun unless you're a citizen. Yeah. So that's one of the things that really held me back too, was because, like, you know, they all have the free tuition and stuff, but I'm not a citizen.
Oh, so you don't get
both
the
my
perks.
parents are American.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah. So.
No, I thought your dad was born in.
No, he grew up in both.
Oh, he grew up, but I thought he was born over there. Mm-mm. But I couldn't afford university, so that was also kind of a kick in the butt. Like, damn, yeah. Like, because I got accepted all these things and, like, couldn't afford it. And I probably felt the way, like, going to Europe is a big deal. Like, you're leaving everything behind. Like, that kind of is like it's a humbling moment. Yeah, quite literally. But yeah. Speaking of not being able to afford university, we ended up going to Santa Monica College, which is a JC. Shout out to Santa Monica College. They literally paid for
everything.
The air I breathed. Everything.
The clothes on my back. Everything.
No. Literally.
Look, okay. SMC.
SMC. No. Moving the black community forward. Okay. No, y'all literally paid for the clothes on my everything.
I was like, you can't get it better than this. Y'all paying me to go to school and my shit free?
Yo, textbooks was free. They let you keep the financial aid. Yeah. They weren't regulating how to use the financial aid. I was able to get, like, supplies for fucking school, like laptops. Yes. I ain't never had no Apple product in my entire life. I was able to buy a MacBook, an iPad with the pencil, bitch.
Girl, and a case to match.
Thank you.
Girl, I was...
Shout out to
SMC, man, what? Oh my God.
Shout out. They paid for our whole thing.
They did the damn thing. So we were part of this thing. I believe it was for any high school that is in LA County. Or at least on the west side. We're from the west side, so I'm not sure. But, you know, for a lot of local high schools and stuff, they basically gave a lot of students free rides, which is another reason why I did go to SMC, was because it was free. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, it's by my house. It's close.
Yeah, it definitely alleviated the stress of, like, trying to figure out how to pay for university. Because I was like, oh, this shit is free. I can knock out half of my schooling time here and not even pay a fucking dime out of my own pocket.
That part.
Period.
I could even say, like, I bought my own food, but at the end of the day, like, no.
I didn't. That was financial aid money.
Ma'am.
And then we got vouchers on top. I got food vouchers for the cafe on top of that.
They gave me food. Actually, they gave me food vouchers.
That was the
and
clothes.
I used to go in and they would
get
have
the free
food.
Yeah. Child, I miss FCC now.
Look, if you ain't never been to a JC, girl,
you better take your ass down. Y'all been paying loans, honey. No, ma'am.
Girl, get your GEs at a junior college. I am so serious. You will save so much money,
and you'll still have that UCLA, USC for your your third and fourth
where
year
you graduate from.
Yeah,
right. Not to mention, it's when you do go to community. I forgot what I was gonna say. Whatever. Anyways,
but yeah, I mean, yeah.
What was your specific experience at SMC or JC?
I mean, money wise, being finance, It was good.
Yeah. Stress level.
Now, for me, where they lost me, was
It's always a catch.
where I had to opt out, where I had to say no deal. And for that reason, I'm out. Was like we talked about how we grew up, going to basically middle class and upper class schools.
Right.
We got to experience a high level of education already.
Yep.
So, I mean, we weren't going to laboratories. But we were taking trips to LACMA, things like that.
Cultural stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then we were already having those fishbowl talks, those seminars, those workshops.
Yeah.
Even in high school, we went to a middle class, upper class school in a neighborhood, Culver City High School.
Right.
So we were already experiencing those things. So when I got to college, I just wasn't fucking excited. Like, I was like, I just did this for like a lot of years.
Yeah. Every single
in middle school, I went to a charter school, so that's like public private school.
Yeah, exactly.
So I been doing this for a while. Right. So when I got to college, like, I would understand if I came from like South Central and came there and was like, it was a whole new world. Like, we doing seminars. And that's not to shit on nobody, because that has nothing to do with you as a person. That's the system we live in. And I acknowledge the privilege I have from going to those schools, which is why when I got to college, it was so lackluster. And I was so frustrated because I was like, I literally and I don't like school.
Yeah.
I'm good at school doesn't mean I like it. I'm good at school because I want my mom to be proud of me. I don't want to be in trouble. That's why I'm good at school.
Right.
And I was okay at school. I got B's, 1C for math, and A's everywhere else. Yeah. So I was okay. I was doing it because I had to, and you can tell. Like, you know what I'm saying? So when I got to college, I thought I would have this new motivation. And I started off pretty good because it was like, okay, it's just another day of school. You know what I'm saying? But like, it was like, I'm doing this shit all over again. And it's like, they said when I get here, I get to do something I care about. I don't care about none of this shit.
Okay. See, now that takes me to those courses and stuff too, because my experience, like, it was really, really similar to yours, except of all of the external stuff I was going through when I was in like October and so forth. But when it comes to pretty much, I mean, for me, it was more so like I was just bored, because like you said, we had done all of this at one point already. Like, I think the only class I actually had mental stimulation from was my political science courses, just because they were political science. You know, all of the other ones, it was kind of just, once again, listening, regurgitating information, memorizing things. I'm like, why am I here? Where's the critical thinking? Where are we going to be putting our intellect into something?
And I don't feel like that was because we were at a JC.
No, because it's the best JC in the fucking country.
Exactly. It's almost a university.
So, well, yes, it's damn near a university. Yeah. It's they only don't do it because they're gonna lose funding. But
yeah, but I mean, and it's people like us, right? Exactly. For free.
Right, yeah. But it's good. You know, I'm just like going there and stuff. It's like, it didn't really seem like it was something that I felt I needed to do. Yeah. You know, it felt like I was just there because, I mean, for one, my circumstance, I kind of needed to be there to be able to have shelter and stuff like that. Yeah. But it was also the sense of like, I felt like I'm completely wasting my life. I felt that I was completely wasting my life going to school. And that's why I'm not in school now, because I got to a point where I was like, if I don't have the drive or the mental like stance that I'm a student and I'm ready to go to school and I'm gonna do this and commit to it like every single day of my life type stuff, or whenever I have courses, whatever I gotta do, I need to know that I'm at that place. Because like I said, we were getting paid to go there, and I started feeling bad that I'm using up these resources, but I'm not excelling. Yeah. You know, so I stopped going. I was like, what's the point in this? Like, I'm just sitting here taking up this could be somebody else's, like, who actually wants to be here and actually wants to get, you know, all this stuff. I'm like, I don't want to just be a drone to society for the next 60 years of my life. Yeah. And then they're saying there's no idea if we're going to be able to retire or not.
That's some sick shit.
Sick. But
I'm
they're
not trying
still
to be
taking
a slave.
SSA out of my check. Yeah. Sick. I'm like, I'm not about to sit up here and deal with this country, this bullshit that y'all got going on. I'm not about to sit up here and deal with them. Like, no, y'all not about to work me to my death like you did my ancestors. Oh, I get paid now. Okay.
Yeah, I don't believe in unnecessary labor no more. I used to believe in that shit as a kid. Nope. Like, let's volunteer and like, volunteering to a certain extent I get, but like, I don't believe in the unpaid labor type shit. Nope. And I also don't believe in labor that much either. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everything we do is like, even this podcast. I'm like, everything we do is like for the guy, for someone else, mm-hmm. and it's not ever really for ourselves. Yeah. It's in the hopes of that we'll attain some monetary gain from what we do. And I feel like college was the only reason I was going to college is so I can get a good job and not end up in the same position of poverty as I was as an adolescent. Yeah. It was mostly like, I think a lot of people, especially black people, black women, who are the highest educated group in the country. Period. Thank you very much. I'm not included in that, but I'm very proud of the gross. Well, but the gross. I'm proud of the gross. Clap it up for the gross. Yes. I'm very proud of that, but I'm not part of that. But I forgot what I was saying. But yeah, like, I just feel like I was being indoctrinated into a fucking slave society, and honestly that was like low-key triggering. Like,
why wouldn't it be?
It was low-key triggering. It was low-key triggering.
It was like, I cannot do this. But you know, that's a very interesting point that you brought up, because once again, I noticed that we were both going to college not for ourselves. Yeah. It's either for someone else or for an external factor. It's never because I want this personal fulfillment of the classes I'm going to get.
It was never for the journey. It was for the gain. Yeah. It was never for the process. Yeah. It was for the end result. Exactly. It was never for my purpose on earth and fulfillment. Nope. It was for survival.
Yeah. Quite literally. Unfortunately.
And that's where they lost me. Yeah. And that's where I'm out. And for that reason, I'm out.
I'm gonna have to decline.
Okay, but okay.
Let's see.
Okay, since it was, what would you change about it?
Okay. Not being homeless. No.
Well.
Oh. No, if I'm being...
That would help.
I mean, who knows? But
I can't.
No, if I could change... I mean, honestly, if I could change anything about my schooling experience, for one, I mean, I don't know what I would change. I don't care. I'm sorry. No, because
it kind of... No, I get that, because for you, it was...
Yeah.
It was a lot going on, girl.
Yeah.
It was a lot happening.
A lot.
And then on top of that, trying to attend school.
Oh my God. When I tell you guys,
that was a moment that was just like, let's just get through this. Yeah. Let's just get through this. Let's just get through this. The girls are gonna get there. The girls are gonna get there.
We'll stick it out
so tomorrow. For you, I understand, was like, that was a moment in my life, and it's done. It's over. Like, I understand that. I was
just like, I don't know, like, changing it because there's nothing I feel that I could personally change. More so, I feel that school should be about the intellect and the personal growth you're gonna get from having conversations with people you'd never interact with.
But then that goes back to how we went to school before going there. You see what I was saying?
That is so true. I don't feel any mental
I was watching a podcast, once again, to my sisters. Hey, girls. Yes. And they were talking about their college experience, and they didn't go to the type of schools that we went to. Mm. You know, they were from the ends. I see. So when they got to college, it was like a whole new world. Yeah. And I was like, I can't relate. Yeah. We're already doing that. Yeah. So like, yeah. like, so for me, I don't know if would I change anything? It was free. So like,
it was there's free. Nothing I can. I'm like,
it was free.
I would.
So I'm like, I also felt bad. It was free, and like that also put me into a depressive state. Yeah. Once I started getting super sad and like crying, and it was like, I don't know why I'm upset. It was when I stopped going to school I won't say it was the reason I was depressed, but it was part of it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like I'm doing what I really need to do.
Yeah.
I don't feel good about myself.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is an extra unnecessary stress.
Right.
I'm working at this job. I'm trying to do good at this job. Then I'm coming to school trying to focus and not be extra tired.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's just a
lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
But if I would change anything, I can't change anything about the school, but I probably would change my approach to it. I don't think I went in there with some real goals. Like, okay, I'm here to knock this out. And when I finally did, I did. When I didn't come in with goals. But when I finally was like, okay, I'm all over the fucking place. This is not me. I tried to find some goals. And when I figured out what I wanted to do, they didn't have the resources for me.
Well, that's where I was getting at, too. That's just where I was. It's funny you brought that up, though, because I was kind of saying that was my experience in a way, was like, because I know that when I decided to go to school, I decided to be a lawyer. I did not want to do medical school like my mom wanted me to do. She wanted me to be a nurse like her. And I was like, I don't like math.
I tried that.
Medicine's cool, but I mean, I don't like hospitals. I'm always cold. No thanks.
It's not the gig.
Right. So, I was like, okay, like I can go for like law school though, because I used to love SVU. I've always wanted to be a lawyer. So I was a kid.
Nice.
I was like,
wait, which one?
What?
Special Victims Unit, nigga. Okay. Is there even any other one? I've never.
I think it's
Criminal Minds.
Criminal Minds, and then there's another one, but they're not that great.
Criminal Minds is okay. It's SVU, then Criminal Minds, and then whatever else is over there.
Yeah. But no, because my thing was, I decided that when I was in school, but then I was like, well, I don't want to be a lawyer. Like, if I'm gonna have to spend 8 more years of this shit, I don't want to do this. So. That's
also where I had to say, for that reason, I'm out.
Yeah.
No, man.
But so the thing was, I eventually came across my game or whatever, the City Skyline. Shout out to Colossal Interactive. They are a fucking dope ass game developer. Okay, get into it, yeah. No, when I got into the game, I had realized that I was into city planning, but I never knew I've been into city planning since I was a small child, but never knew what it was or what to call it. I didn't know it was an entire thing. Category. Yeah. Right. So when I started actually doing more research on this stuff, I was like, well, damn, that's what I want to do. But you can't do that there. So that was my thing. I was talking to the counselors, and I was like, yo, this is what I want to do. I know y'all don't have the courses, but maybe help me. I know I got to do my GEDs.
Yeah, I was trying to I was trying to puzzle piece different things together, and I just felt like I could be starting on what I want to do. Yeah. Like now. Instead of spending time here, because the field that I am in, production, media, music, you need to actually fucking do it in order to even get anywhere, to have a portfolio. You have to put the money where your mouth is. And I can't spend all my time in a classroom learning about why this comma comes after this fucking conjunction with your function. I don't have time for this. I don't need it.
That part.
I just got frustrated.
Yeah, I got really frustrated too, because that was my main thing, was the counselors or whatever. I was just like, help a girl out.
That's one of the questions though. Like, how confident were you in the class? We kind of covered that, because we didn't have classes that wanted to do what we wanted to do, and the counselors. My counselor didn't even know that there was a program for students to transfer to HBCUs.
Okay, let me just. One disclaimer, if you go to SMC, we love the school, okay, don't get me wrong, but stay clear, and I cannot stress this enough, stay clear of the college and career center, because those counselors do not know what the fuck they are talking about. They don't know shit. This woman dropped all my classes trying to rearrange my classes, and I had to scramble to add random ass classes because all of them were booked up.
I remember that.
Yeah, you didn't think to add the other courses before you dropped mine. Then I had 3 classes that year, so I technically wasn't full time. So I technically didn't get on my student aid that year. I was like, I'm not going to take some random extra class just to fulfill and be full time. You know, like, it's college career center. It ain't the move, okay?
It's not. You would learn more from YouTube
Girl.
than you would the college career center.
You want to
try to go for more niche programs, like, you know, the Black Student Union,
right, or EOPS, or
like the Latin Heritage.
Try
to go for them because they are very focused. They're focused on helping you for your specific team.
They will actually help you. Did you have academic support, physical, intellectual, etc.? Did you just have support at all?
My class. Here's the thing about SMC tutoring. By time they allow tutoring, I already don't know what the fuck is going on. She said 2A plus Z equals Y. That was the second day. They don't allow tutoring until about 3 weeks later into your course.
True. That is true.
And I'm like, I need to nip this in the bud before I move on to the next thing. And now I have to basically relearn everything that I didn't know, which sucks when you're in accounting too. Okay. Lucky I even made it to accounting too, darling. But I learned my lesson from accounting when I was like, okay, I need to be on top of this. I need to go tutoring as soon as I don't understand anything, ask questions, but it's college. So there's so much shit going on. Your professor has these hours. You have work. I couldn't make it to those fucking hours. So I tried to schedule in some tutoring. But the tutoring doesn't start until 3 weeks later. So by the time we got to that 3 weeks, I was like, bitch, I'm lost.
Not to mention half the tutoring sessions are like midway into your next class on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You know, like, yo, like, we can't get a specific date and time that's after the class. These are like, it's just a few things that I'm like, you know, the support side of it, like, you guys should really probably get it together. Like I said, you know, like Jada was saying too, because I know I went to the Black Student Union and I went to the EOPS, and their specific counselors were the ones who gave me the most help that I could cause. Like, anything you will need, especially the BSU ones, they were there to help. The EOPS ones, they're definitely there to help. So
not just like with your classes, but also financially,
your life. They're very, very helpful and knowledgeable and have a lot of resources.
What was your breaking point to stop going to school?
Let me tell you.
When were you like? The question is, when did you have the realization that you were ready to stop, and when did you execute those steps? So let's start with that first. When did you come to an epiphany?
I had my epiphany. I kid you not. I had my epiphany. I've told you this story before. It was probably, I want to say, November 13th, 2018. And
It was that early, bitch? Wait, okay. When did you stop going? You stopped going like...
No, I stopped going around 2019.
Okay.
I only went for like the first semester 2019, the spring. And that was it. I haven't been since.
Yo, you've been out a while.
Yeah. So, you know, I was taking a stats class or whatever. And I mean, you know, math, I'm decent at math or whatever, but like, I need good teachers. Math isn't hard if you have good teachers or people who know how to work with you or work with your learning habits and stuff, you know? And like, not knocking the teacher that I had, but my professor wasn't very helpful for my specific learning type. And so the more we excelled through the class, the more I was like, I don't know any of this because I don't have the foundation of this.
That's
you know,
what
that
I felt
first
about the
thing,
fucking tutoring.
Right. So I was sitting in that class and she started, you know, we were already doing things with, you know, numeral digits, numbers, and like letter characters, because math. But then she started adding Greek letters to the math.
Were you in calculus?
And I was in statistics.
Oh, statistics.
She started adding Greek letters to the problem.
I like how you said she started adding like she came up with statistics like this bitch out of nowhere.
Oh my god,
wants to start adding
numbers. No, oh my god. I'm like, it's one thing we're doing problems with like numbers and letters. I'm dyslexic, so it's a lot for me, you know. But she started adding problems with the numbers, the letters, and the Greek letters all in the same problem.
Frustrating.
And I said, dyslexia. I'm not doing this. We had hit our intermission in that class. I packed my stuff up. She said, you guys have 10-minute intermission. You can go grab snacks, use the restroom, whatever you need. We have another hour and a half of this class left. I said, okay, ma'am. Yo, I kid you not. I closed everything on my MacBook. I shut the lid. I put it in my backpack. I said, okay. I wrote down the date on the top of the page. And I looked over my notes and I said, okay, close that notebook, put that in my backpack too. Grab my pencils, grab my phone, put that in my pocket, grab everything that I had. I started walking out for that intermission. She said, okay, I'll see you for class and everything after the intermission, right? I was like, yeah, girl, I'll be right back. I'm just going to get some food. And I never returned. never went back.
Never came
to this
back.
Day. To this day, never went back.
This nigga packed up and was like, no.
No thank you. No, thank you.
I'm gonna head out.
All right, I'm gonna fuck with you. I'm gonna sit up here. Like,
all right, I'm gonna
fuck with you. Because
I'm fuck with you.
I can't.
Bro, the way you packed up and was like, yeah, okay. No. Later, losers. I can't.
No, that was my real. And after that, every class,
it just started dropping like
dominoes, like
because
flies.
Once you got the confidence to do it once,
I said, "Fuck that." I'm not about to sit.
Mine, honestly, dude. So we were in a friend group of 3. So by time 2019 hit, 2 out of 3 of us were out of college. I was the last one left. And I would talk about school like, yeah, I'm just trying to get this school. Like, I'm the last one left, and I'm trying to make it. It's hard to make it. It's hard to make it.
It's okay, girl. Just like
I was sobbing. Remember, I was crying. I was literally sobbing. Like, I don't know why I'm so sad. Like, this sucks. Like, I'm just trying to get to school, and like, school is that hard. I don't know why this is becoming hard now. And I was just I was mentally just really going through it. Yeah. And then we went into quarantine. And so, mind you, before we went online for quarantine and pandemic, I had already took an online class to like, I forgot it existed. So that is a little telltale of I should not be doing this. And so before the pandemic, I decided I did my accounting 1 online and half in school. And then I did another class online, which is one I forgot about. And I learned my lesson. I was like, we're not going to do online anymore. Yeah. Because you can't keep yourself together, girl. And so I decided to take my accounting 2 in person, and it was going okay. Besides the tutoring thing. And it was going okay. Then we got put into lockdown, and then they wanted me to do all online. Yeah. And I was like, baby girl. They was like, yeah, we're switching to online. I immediately unenrolled. I immediately said, I am dropping this. I am not doing this. No, ma'am. I'm not doing things like this.
You are not going to be doing this.
I am not doing this. So I took a whole hiatus from school. Because I was like, bitch, it's pandemic. I'm not trying to play this child. Like,
that part.
And I barely want to be there anyway. So this is a great excuse. This is a wonderful excuse. So this is a great time to not go. But then I was like, okay. Then I started, Will started telling me, I was like, okay, what is the ways I can optimize, how I can get the most out of all my classes and do what I want to do while getting my GEs done. So I came up with a plan. I was still talking to counselors because they just switched everything to online. And so we were just coming with a plan. I'm like, yeah. So I get started. I'm doing it. I'm doing well. And then, something just turns in me. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore again. Like something just, I was doing it. I was doing the doing things. And then all of a sudden I was just like, something switched. And I was like, no. I actually hate this. Yeah. And this is not the way I learn. Yeah. This structure does not do anything for me. Yeah. Like, I actually am not enjoying this. And it was music. I was taking music classes. Mm-hmm. I was doing like a public speaking class, which is something I'm into.
My music class was the one I hated the most.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Oh my God.
I hated it.
Yes. And online, it's even fucking worse.
Oh my God, I can imagine.
Music online?
No, because
not our Twitches moment.
No, right. Because I'm like, music online? What?
Yeah.
Nigga, what?
It's really shitty.
Oh, I can imagine.
And
Bethany's gonna play the cello through Zoom. So everyone go ahead and mute your camera.
Everyone hit his G, and then like there's like 5 G's, 1 C, and like everyone's like, nah, nah. And you're like,
virtual orchestras. Like what?
Yeah, fuck that shit. No, something just clicked in me again. Was like, yeah, this is not it. This is not for me. I don't like it. I don't actually like school. I never actually liked school. The reason I did school is because I wanted to make my mom proud. And that's the only reason I'm here. And I don't want her on my case about it. And that's why I'm in college.
The only reason
I don't want to be here anymore. And now that I'm a grown ass person and this is my life, I have to take the reins in that. And I'm done.
Yep. And that's okay.
Yep, and I realized it was perfectly fine.
It's perfectly fine.
Life goes on.
You will live.
Because it's either you have a full-time job or you go to college.
Yeah, but then you still got a full-time job.
Exactly.
So you might as well just
and then
keep your sanity.
When I left college and got into more of the real world outside of schooling, you realize like people with whole-ass degrees are your fucking low-level manager.
Yeah, like, entry level and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's actually funny you bring that up too, because we can keep.
When
I worked at that place, that bank I told you about, them bitches, we don't talk about them much, but so my job specifically, I had to go to a lot of locations and do a lot of stuff. And that involved me speaking to a lot more people than I normally would, and upon speaking to these people, I've found quite a few people I've worked with in
your same position,
in my same position, or maybe a position above me,
entry level position,
all that. Yeah. And they're mad. Like one dude, he was upset because he was like, yeah, I spent 4 years and I have all these student loan debts and I went to school just to please my parents because they're not from America. And he ended up that immigrant perspective, right? Just for him to end up in the same place as me, he was like, like not knocking anyone without it, but I kind of felt like mine was useless.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't know. Like I've worked with someone back when I worked at a retail store, and he had a whole engineering degree, and he was a freaking store manager. I'm like,
what's the name?
You don't go work for NASA or some shit?
What's the name? Make top dollar.
Yeah.
And you went through the whole thing. And you're not that's disheartening.
A store manager.
That is disheartening. I would be fucking pissed.
Not just a store manager at a TJ Maxx.
Oh. Oh, I thought you were talking about Chase. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's disheartening.
Yeah.
That is so
not
frustration.
Even a Nordstrom bitch.
That is so frustration.
Not a Bloomingdale's in sight.
Damn.
Terrible.
He didn't even make it to Neiman Marcus.
Dude. Come on.
That is frustrating.
Saks Fifth Avenue. Something. You should be working on Rodeo Drive with retail and an engineering degree. If you want to work retail, you should not be. Anyways.
Okay, but with that. Okay. Would you recommend going to school?
Yes and no. I think that once again, like I say in every podcast we've had, and like I say to every socio-political or economic issue on this planet that we have, it's something that involves humans that needs to be taken case by case. If you are not becoming a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, you do not need it. maybe a social worker, you know, maybe like someone with certain office jobs. Mm-hmm. Okay, I get that, you know. But if you're not a scientist, why do you need to, you know, like my cousin, she graduated from USC. Just be a teacher. A teacher.
What did she study?
Teachers, huh?
What did she study?
Like Black and Urban Studies.
Oh.
Yeah. But, yeah, I'm just like, you know, I mean, and if that's the case, once again, not knocking her, you know, it's the degree, like, where you get it from and stuff, but she spent all 4 years there. So she just racked up a lot of unnecessary debt that she's having a hard time paying off. Shit. Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, for some people, it makes sense. Like I said, I was planning to become a lawyer at one point. I'm still thinking about city planning. That's going to require a 4-year degree minimum, you know? But if I'm just going out here to be just a regular, you know, even contractors, fucking like electricianists and shit.
Yeah.
Just take a few courses. But like if you're just, you know, living your life regular, or you're starting your own business, or you're doing something that doesn't involve surgery, you know, you don't need it.
Yeah, because I went to school for business and I just wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I felt I needed that, because I learned way more on YouTube University than I did. They were teaching us marketing for newspapers.
Now that's...
And I was like... And for this reason, I'm out. Like, what is happening? No. Like, I agree with what you said. Like, if you're not doing something that requires credibility, basically, like, I know you can do this because you went through the whole process of doing this, then you don't need it. And then I think where a lot of people are getting fucked up is like, where are the vocational schools? Remember there used to be a ton of vocational schools. Yeah. Now they're all disappeared. I think like try vocational school. Like, because you're not very much valuable if you don't have a skill. And if you do learn a skill, you can use that to start your own business and become your own entrepreneur. Like, we need to encourage niggas to be plumbers again.
Yeah,
because
be a plumber,
like not everybody can rap, and not
contractors.
And university is not for everybody.
Yeah.
So like I recommend education. Do you have to go to a university to get that education? Absolutely not.
Right.
I've learned so much outside of college, just
from experience.
Yeah, not only from experience, but for me, like we said, we came from backgrounds where they taught us how to critical think. Yeah. So going into this world, I know how to navigate and find information that is credible and useful. Yeah. So I'm able to teach myself things by myself and understand and break them down and apply them where I need to. Right. And I'm able to strategize in that way.
You don't want to hold your hand to do that.
I don't. And school, I feel like for a lot of people is a crutch. Yeah. Like our friend was talking about, she was like, I'm scared. Like,
of the
should I go to graduate school and do another another 2 years? Yeah. And she was like, because I'm scared, you know, what is life outside of school? Right. And, you know, it literally is what you make it. And I think that a lot of people who graduate from university learn that very quickly, because you don't always get into the job right away. No. Just because you have that paper, the market is so competitive. Yeah. So you either create something for yourself, or you hustle and grind to get to that spot, or you find people to know other people to get to know other people, honey. But either way, education in general is all around you if you pay attention, you listen, and you're intentional about what you want to do in life. Yeah. I don't think you need to go to university. Would I recommend it? Yes. For somebody who is coming from a different environment and now experiencing a whole new thing, I think that's super beneficial for you to be around, especially if you're going to an HBCU. Right. That culture, that environment, feeling that connection with other people is super important, especially like-minded people who are on this, to be connected to people who are on the same path if you have the same goals is really great. Yeah. But if you don't need that, then you don't need it. Yeah. And you should not waste your time because your parents are saying so. Yeah.
And don't let anybody bully you into doing something that you don't want to do with your life.
You'll learn that very, 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 very quickly once you exit school. These decisions are I'm not going to say pivotal, but they're your own.
Yeah.
And they'll only feel like they're too much when you start adding other people's opinion to it.
Yeah. And one last thing I wanted to add to that, because you kind of made me think of something, was like also, you know, when it comes to like the job search and stuff, you also have to make sure that not like while you're in school, you need to be working.
Yeah, you
cannot just be in school and just get your degree and that's all you have on your resume.
Yeah. They want you to be experienced.
Yeah.
They want you to have experience before getting experience to have experience.
Yeah. That's why I'm glad that I have the jobs I've had, so I don't feel like I need a degree.
Yes, I realize all the really odd jobs I've worked since 14 years old have actually gave me a lot of skills outside of school.
Yeah.
And it's gotten me more places.
Yeah. Then looking at my education background. On my education background, it'll show you like, I spent a couple years at SMC and I tell them I didn't graduate. So what? I took classes. Shit, I have my transcripts if you want to see them.
Yeah.
But you know, as for like everything else, once they see that you have that bare minimum experience of like of college, but I have this job on this job on this job, and they're not like,
they're
I'm working at
their actual skills.
Yeah, like I said, I did district stuff for a bank. Like, you can't make this shit up, you know.
You can't learn that shit in school.
You got it right. You got to make sure that you are like doing internships and that you are like active in your job field. Also, you don't want to spend those 4 to 8 years and you don't like it. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people who are like, I hate being a doctor. I only do it because it makes me money.
Yes. That's why I decided not to become a doctor.
That's why I said
I was like, do I actually want to be in a cold ass office all day, and I want to be a pediatrician, and I was like, do I want to deal with these kids?
Sick ass kids.
No, I said, fuck them kids. I don't want to do this. I actually don't want to do this.
Yeah.
I actually want to work for myself, want to be an entrepreneur. Then I had to figure out what that was.
Right.
And it didn't involve school because like I want to make things. I'm a creative. I want to make things.
Exactly.
But I also want to make some money.
Right. Well,
we don't have time for all that.
Would you return to school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just talk all that shit about it. And like,
I mean,
yeah,
if I'm being once, I mean, I
think
we
education
kind of
is
already
important.
like addressed this throughout the whole podcast, but like, you know, like I said, I don't want to go to school until I feel I'm at a point where I'm ready. That's why I haven't been back, and I don't think I'm gonna go back. I'm probably not gonna get my A until I'm like 26, honestly, because I don't have the drive for it.
Honestly, if this shit works out, I'm not looking back. I'm not looking, because honestly, I don't know. Here's the only reason I would go back to school. If I needed the soft skill for what I needed to do, or if it presented a new opportunity for me, like an internship where I needed to get to where I needed to go. Where I get to where I need to go. If it's not a critical stepping stone into where the fuck I want to be, then it's a back step, and I'm not doing that shit. That's not happening.
That part.
So that's the only reason. But even that is like special circumstance. Yeah. Because I don't know what's going to happen in the future and if I'm going to need it or not. So it's kind of holding me back, even thinking, oh yeah, I might go back to school. Even the word back to school is like going backwards. You know what I'm saying? I've already made a lot of progress going forward. Yeah. So I'm just going to keep learning on my own and getting to where I want to go, especially as an entrepreneur. It's more about doing than it is about sitting at a desk and reading books and highlighting some random shit about Socrates. You know what I'm saying? It's more. It's right. You have to put your foot on the ground in order for this to happen. Yeah. And so I don't think going back to school would actually do anything for me. So I'm just going to say a definitive no. Huh? I'm not returning to school.
I mean, hey, the only reason I said I'd probably go back is because I'm into city planning and they won't let anybody in without a 4-year. So yeah, and you can't even get an internship without being in school. So that's that where I'm part. Like, I honestly, I might have to, but
outside of school, we've gotten into programs.
Yeah, that's true.
We've gotten into an Apple program, and I'm definitely gonna use that to my advantage. Yeah. Even while we were filming our Better Safe Place, somebody handed us a card just because they thought we were putting our foot on the ground and doing something. That's exactly what she said. She's like, "You guys are out here doing it," and I like that. Here's my card.
Right. Right.
And I feel like the more we keep doing that, the more the universe will be like, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
There it is. Come on.
So
you just keep.
I'm honestly, I know I'm in a transition because I've been feeling very lonely.
Yeah.
And every time I'm in transition, I feel very lonely. And I'm like, I feel very isolated. And I feel like the universe is like, hold on. Don't get distracted out here.
Right.
What's going on right here? And I'm definitely in a transition right now. So, but I feel good.
Yeah. That's all that matters.
I feel good. I feel like I needed to wallow in some despair and sorrow for a second to say, hey, there is actually something going on. There's something wrong with me, in order to like start getting over that hump of new confidence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think
it's the light at the end of the tunnel.
that would have never happened if I had the blanket shelter of school.
Yeah, I see.
I would have never went through that. I would have just used it as a distraction. Yeah. And I probably would have not been doing. I don't think I would be in this moment, right? I don't think I'd be in this moment, even unemployed, but I'm doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have been in. I think I would have been really fucked up.
Yeah. Same here. That was another reason I quit, because it was just very detrimental to my mental health.
Yeah.
Like the addition of stress from school and, you know,
life.
having to maintain, balancing life. Because that's the thing, once again, that we kind of talked about, I remember a few years ago, was like, it's one thing going to a university where like your whole life is school because you live there, but like at a JC, that is one of those things. It's like, if you're not going to a 4-year, you don't plan to, just know like you're living life still, you know. It doesn't stop for anybody.
You're going to school with 40-year-olds, with kids.
Yeah, it'll open your perspective a lot.
Yeah,
because you meet so many people. I mean, like, even people coming just to like get on top of like their credentials and stuff or whatever, just excel themselves. Yeah, you know, it's not always like first time comers and stuff, but it's like, you know, you meet a lot more people and stuff. It's just, I don't know, man. But as for school, like it's tricky. It's tricky.
But like, you would return if you needed to.
If I had to, I would, because I have to. Yeah. But like you said, probably a definitive no.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we need to do a part 2, like we're college dropouts, but like life outside of education.
So with that, transition into adulthood and then so on. Yeah.
That's gonna be our part 2.
Period.
So
get into it.
Not next Friday, then Friday after that. Calm down. But yeah, we post bi-weekly on Fridays. But
just like your paycheck.
Yes. Just like your paycheck and your food stamps. That part. Yes. So yeah, that's it. That's the podcast. Yeah. You should have been liked, commented, and subscribed. I'm not gonna keep playing with y'all.
We did this on the last one, y'all. Y'all should have come on now, get it together.
Yeah. But you know, you could do that after, and you can also go, if this is your first time being here, you can go watch the last video too. Yeah. We got other videos.
Check it out.
It's cool. And then check us out on Instagram, GMVMAP, on Instagram, Twitter, SoundCloud, and Spotify. Thank you guys so much. Click the notification bell so you're notified for our next episode.
Once again, I am Taz, aka Saint Mora,
and I am Jay, aka JT.
And we just gave you a motherfucking
podcast, bitch. Oh, I'm a fool with you. I'm a fool with you. All right, bye, bitches. Bye, whores. Bye, whores. Stop.
Goodbye, whores.